Okay, so let's take a look at this. 3x squared minus 14x plus 8 is equal to 0. Did we reduce the volume in our pressure particulate? In set by they couldn't. That didn't work. Is the volume not the volume higher? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so 3x squared minus 14x plus 8. Even before you start solving it, you need to factor this polynomial, factor this quadratic equation. So does it have, look at all the terms. Do they have any common factor?
No. No.
Factor. So we have to do the long A times C method. So A times C is going to go here. What is A times C in this problem?
24.
Very good. And the bottom number is negative 14. Okay, you guys do the rest of the things and tell me the factors. I will write down the factors here. See if you guys get the same thing. 3x minus 2 times x minus 4. Did you guys get this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the factors of this question A is 3x minus 2 times x minus 4. And you see the right-hand side is equal to 0. Now, do you remember the zero product property?
Yes.
Take each factor. So you're going to set each factor is equal to 0. And then you add 2 to both sides and then divide by 3. X is equal to 2. And on the other factor, we have x is equal to 4. So what are the solutions? So the solutions are x is equal to 4 and x is equal to 2/3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so we have two solutions. Do you know why we have two solutions? Because the degree of x is 2. If it is 2, if the degree of x is 2 or the variable is 2, you should have two solutions, this and that. Okay, question B. Are you guys done with question B? It's negative 2y squared minus 5y minus 3 is equal to 0. Can one of you tell me the factors?
Negative 6 and 1.
Huh?
Negative 6 and 1.
No, tell me the factors, not the solutions. The one before that.
2 and 3. One of them.
2 and 3 won't give you.
Oh wait, negative 2 and 3. Wait, no, yeah, 2 and 3.
Okay, Kalyan, you're talking about these, right? So A times
Yeah.
C is 6, and this is negative 5. So you're talking about negative 3 and negative 2, correct? Is that what you? Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there, you fill the thing inside the box. Now tell me, what do you get after the box? That's what I'm asking.
Oh.
How about the rest of you guys? Are you guys getting this?
Yeah.
Negative 2y squared.
So negative 2y squared, okay.
And then negative 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then negative 3x. And then negative 2x. I mean y.
Oh yeah, y, correct, y. And Okay. Now you take the common factor, which is negative 2y here, and then negative 3 here, and negative, let me use a different color, negative y here, and just a negative 1 here. Okay. So negative 2y. I think there is somewhere something is wrong. So if you take the negative 2y, because there's a negative 2y here, and there's negative 3 there, there's negative y and negative 1. Okay, so this looks like negative 2y minus 3 times negative y minus 1. Okay, but do you guys see that there is an issue there? Because when you multiply these two, you're getting a positive number, but actually it's not a positive number there. Do you see that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you should have done is, like as I explained earlier, when you see there is a negative everywhere, you should take the negative outside and put it outside the parentheses. That would avoid this issue. So when you have a negative everywhere, take the negative, which is actually negative 1. We don't put the 1 there, but it's just the negative. 2y squared plus 5y plus 3. And then when you do the same thing again, you're going to get 2y plus 3 and y plus 1 is equal to 0. You're going to get the same answer though. Okay. Now when you use a zero product property, you just ignore the negative one, because even if you set negative 1 is equal to 0, that's not going to make any sense. So you take the first factor, 2y plus 3 is equal to 0. The second factor is equal to 0. And then you have y is equal to and y is equal to. What is y is equal to from the first factor?
Y equals negative 3/2.
Correct. And from the second one, y is equal to?
Negative 1.
Correct. So you have again 2 answers. Okay. So one thing that you have to remember is, if you take the negative outside, if the term is starting with a negative number, that's going to make the factoring a little easier. Otherwise, you'll end up with something where you actually had a wrong one here. Okay, I think we stick to black. Okay. Okay. Question C. Negative 5m squared plus 6m minus 1. Okay, here also, because the first term is negative, I think it's advisable to take the negative outside. Okay, so that's going to be, if I take the negative from every term outside, I'm going to get 5m squared as the first one. I'm dividing this by negative, so that's going to be negative 6m. I'm going to divide the third term by a negative, so everything becomes the opposite sign. Just think like that. Now we are going to do the A times C method, which is like 5, 1, which is 5, negative 6. So the factors are going to be?
Negative 5 and negative 1.
Negative 5 and negative 1. Very good. And moving the terms, transferring that into the box. You have, yeah, So we are going to keep the negative outside. So I'm going to take 5m squared as the first one, 1 as the last one, negative 5m, negative 1m. Now remember, I'm keeping this negative here, okay? Okay. So if you look at this one, there is an m. Okay. This is starting with a negative 5m and then a 1, so you can think about negative 1. This is 5m. Again, starting with a negative, so negative 1. Now, the factors are, remember, there is a negative sign, bring back the negative sign, m minus 1 and 5m minus 1. Right-hand side is 0. This negative just vanishes because you're taking that to 0 and it's just gone. Setting each factor is equal to 0. M is equal to 1. M is equal to 1 over 5. Because you add 1 first and then divide by 5, so m is equal to 1/5. Are there any questions on the warm-up?
No.
Okay, are we good? Okay. So let's move on to the lesson for today, which is 8.5. I'm going to split the lesson into today and Monday because there's a little too much information here. All right. Let's just have a recap on the other lessons. Do you guys remember what is the standard form of a quadratic equation? Anyone can answer. What's the quadratic standard form of a quadratic equation?
ax squared plus bx plus c.
That's correct. Now, can someone else tell me the vertex form? Vertex form, the one we learned yesterday. Anyone? Let me see who all are here. Adrian. Adrian, can you tell me what is the vertex form of a quadratic equation? Okay, Adrian forgot. Amrita, do you remember vertex form?
Yes.
Yes, what is it?
A parentheses x minus h squared plus k.
Correct. The vertex form is, everyone, write it in your notes again. Vertex form is A parentheses x minus h quantity square plus k. That's the vertex form. We learned this yesterday. Everyone memorize it. Okay, the reason I wanted to talk about the other two forms because we are going to talk about another form today. What is the name of the new form?
Intercept.
Read it. Correct. It's the title of the lesson. It's called the intercept form. Okay. So it's basically X-intercept forms, not Y-intercept. Now, can someone tell me what does X-intercept mean? What are X-intercepts?
When it interacts with the x-axis.
Correct. X-intercepts are the points where the graph intersects the x-axis. So look at this diagram. Look at the graph here. If you look at this graph, everyone, look at this graph. What are the x-intercepts of this graph? Where is the graph intersecting the x-axis?
P, 0 and Q, 0.
These are the 2 points where the blue graph intersecting the x-axis. So P, 0 and Q, 0. So those are called the x-intercepts. Clear? So the x-intercepts in our graph is this point, which is P, 0, Q, 0. That is why. So if you know the x-intercepts, then there is a new form called intercept form. And that looks like this. This is another form I want you guys to memorize. So f of x is equal to a parentheses x minus p times x minus q, where p and q are the x-intercepts. Okay, now look at the graph again. If p and q are the x-intercepts, do you have any idea about where this axis of symmetry is?
2.
Axis of symmetry looks like 2, right? Does it also look like halfway through the distance between P and Q? Like just the middle part, okay, halfway through P and Q. Correct? Okay. So the axis of symmetry is x is equal to, you just take the average of your x-intercepts, P plus Q divided by 2. That is the axis of symmetry. It's just the average of the x-intercepts. Okay. If that's the axis of symmetry, can you tell me anything about the x-coordinate of the vertex? Isn't that same as the axis of symmetry? The x-coordinate is on the axis of symmetry. So the x-coordinate will also be P plus Q over 2. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to memorize this. All 3 things. The vertex form, understand it, and then memorize. Memorized? Did you guys memorize?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I hear from some of you guys? Tell me, it's there, right there, but I just want to hear from you guys. What is the intercept form? Anyone? Okay.
Fx equals
Okay.
a x minus p x minus q.
That's correct. Now, Abhinaya, can you tell me what is the axis of symmetry if you know the x-intercepts?
The axis would be the p plus q divided by 2.
Correct. Okay. Now, Jasmine, can you tell me what is the x-coordinate of the vertex if you know the x-intercepts?
P plus Q divided by 2.
That's correct. Okay. That's good. Let's move on and do some. Okay. You're asked to graph the function, describe the domain and range. You have been seeing this from the beginning of this 8-point chapter, right? But then every time we are using little different kind of strategies. That's because the function actually looks different every time. Okay. In this case, this is what I want you guys to do. Tell me what are the x-intercepts in this problem. It says x minus 1 and x plus 3. The form is x minus p times x minus q, right? If you simply compare with the form, which is x minus p times x minus q, what is your p and q in this problem?
-1 and -3.
One more time, look at this. We want x minus p and we have x minus 1. So what is in place of p?
1.
1. Okay. We want x minus q, but we have x plus 3. What does that mean? What is q then?
-3.
-3. So basically you take the opposite of those two numbers. That's what you do. Correct?
Yeah.
You take the opposite, -1, which is 1. You take the opposite of +3, which is -3. Those are your x-intercepts. Okay. Next, I want you guys to plot the x-intercepts. Plot the x-intercepts, which is 1, 0 and -3, 0. Those are your x-intercepts. Let's plot them. Okay, did you plot the points? So those are the x-intercepts. Next, I want you guys to, let's see, x-intercepts. My second bullet point is graph the axis of symmetry. What is the equation to find the axis of symmetry? The one that we just learned. If you know the
P plus Q divided by 2.
correct. So we have x is equal to, our p is 1, our q is -3, and you take
-1.
correct? And we're going to use a dashed line for the axis of symmetry. I want you guys to graph it. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. -1. That's our axis of symmetry. In bullet point 3, find and plot the vertex. You're going to find the vertex and plot the vertex. Okay. We know that vertex has x coordinate and y coordinate. You guys already found the x coordinate. What is the x coordinate of the vertex?
-1.
Is the same as the axis of symmetry, so that's -1. We already, once you find the axis of symmetry, that's always going to be your x coordinate of the vertex. Okay, now we need to find the y coordinate. I'm going to do the work on the side. How do you find the y coordinate? Plug it back into the equation. Okay, to find the y coordinate, plug x -1 into your equation. So when you plug in the y, x is equal to -1 into the equation, you have y is equal to, which is your f of x, which is same as your y, -1 minus 1, parentheses -1 plus 3. And that's how you always find the y coordinate. You plug it back into the function. This is -2 times 2 is -4. So what is the y-coordinate of the vertex? -4.
Yeah.
Okay. So the vertex is -1, -4. Okay. Hey, Matthew and Wayne, did you guys have another meeting this time? I just noticed that you guys joined right now, if you don't mind.
Sorry about that. I kind of forgot.
Okay. No. The reason I asked, because I want to know if it's clashing with how many of you guys have a conflict with the schedule. That's why I asked.
Oh no, I just purely forgot.
Oh. No problem. So the vertex is -1, -4. Okay. Now, last bullet point. Let's plot this. We found the vertex. Now we are going to plot the vertex. -1, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Next point is plot 2 extra you're going to plot 2 extra points. What is an easy point that you think?
-2.
-2. Okay, so then let's say when x is equal to -2, go ahead and find the y value, everyone. You just have to plug it into the function. So -2 minus 1 times -2 plus 3, which is -3 times 1, which is?
-3.
Correct. So the extra point is -2 corresponds to -3. Corresponds to -3. How do you get the other extra point?
Flip it.
Correct. You're going to reflect this new point across the line, which is the axis of symmetry. So that falls where?
0, -3.
Correct. Now you guys have 5 points. That's good enough for graphing quadratic equations. Then just let's connect them using, is it going to phase up or down?
Up.
So here we go. Write the range.
Domain, all reals.
Correct. Domain is real numbers.
Range is y is greater than or equal to -4.
Correct.
Yeah, but wait a minute. No, not all the students.
Can you guys mute? Okay, thank you. Okay, all right. Let's do the next one. Okay, one more time. Do you want to go? What we did is find the x-intercepts. You plot the x-intercepts. You found the axis of symmetry and graph it. You found the y-coordinate of the vertex by plugging in this into your function. This work right here. And then you plot the vertex. Then you need 2 more extra points. You just pick some points. I think Ali said -2 because she see that we already know this one. So then why not take care of -2? Or you can think about, oh, I want to take care of 0, and you get this, and then you flip this. So either way is fine. Clear? All right, next question. F of x is equal to -3x squared plus 3. Okay. Is this, which form is this? Standard form or vertex form or intercept form?
Standard?
Standard form. We're trying to put this in the intercept form, so we know what to do then. Okay, so first, okay, f of x is equal to -3x squared plus 3. Factorize it. If you factorize, you will get the intercept form. Do we have any great common factor?
Yeah.
Yeah. 3.
Yeah, but I'm going to take -3 because remember, every time we have an equation where the start is negative, we take that out, -3.
Okay.
Now you're going to divide everything by -3, so that's the first term is going to be simply x squared. And you're going to divide the second term by -3, so you get -1. Now this is easy to factorize because this is going to be, does this look familiar to you guys? The thing inside these?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Vertex.
Yeah, that's the difference of squares. Does it look like a squared minus b squared?
Yeah.
Okay, what are the factors of a squared minus b squared? A plus b times?
A minus B.
Okay, you cannot forget this, okay? A squared minus b squared form. So it's going to be x minus 1 times x plus,
Plus 1.
okay? Because this looks like a squared.
Yeah.
Okay, now do we have it in the intercept form?
Yes.
This look like the intercept form, okay? Okay, now tell me what is P and what is Q?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, how do I go back? Dang it.
P is -1 and Q is 1.
Okay, one of them is -1.
Yeah.
Dang it. What am I doing? Okay, not helping.
Is there like a back button?
If you just press not. It happened before and I could do something, but I don't know why not today. What did I do? I'm having some issues. It did happen yesterday, but then I did something yesterday and I could figure this out, how to get out of this box. There's a box coming, and also I think I pressed it the wrong place. Got it, okay. All right, okay. So P is equal to P is equal to 1 and Q is equal to -1. Okay, is that clear, everyone?
Isn't it the opposite?
No, because we want to have X minus P times X minus Q, right? So you take the opposite of this, which is 1. You take the opposite.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember.
But in this case, it doesn't actually matter because it's going to be +1 and -1 anyways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're always taking the opposite of the number that you see inside the parentheses with the X, okay?
Yeah.
So what do we do first? Again, I'm going to add a page because there is not enough for all the work to do, and I come back here for, oh, let me see. Okay, so go ahead. First thing is I want to find the X-intercepts. So the X-intercepts are 0, 1 and 0, -1. I want you guys to plot the points. I'm sorry. 1 second, guys. It's not 0, 1. It's 1, 0, and it's X-intercept, right? So these are the X coordinates. 1, 0, and -1, 0. Okay. Next, I want you guys to find the axis of symmetry. X is equal to
0.
P plus Q divided by 2, which is
0.
0. And we are going to plot the axis of symmetry. So that's the axis of symmetry. Next, I want you guys to find the vertex. X coordinate will be same as the axis of symmetry. So here it goes 0. How do you find the Y coordinate?
You sub in, or you like,
You're
Plug
going to
it in.
substitute that into the equation. So the
Yeah.
Y coordinate is equal to -3 times 0 square plus 3, which is
3. 3.
3. So the vertex, 3, yeah. Vertex is 0, 3.
Mhm.
Okay, let's plot the vertex. 0, 3 is the vertex. 1, 2, 3. Here we go, the vertex. We need 2 extra points. 2 extra points. Okay, who wants to tell me 2 extra points? It's up to you.
-2.
Okay, let's say when X is equal to -2, go ahead, find the Y. -12 plus 9, which is? I'm sorry, -12 plus 3, sorry.
-9.
-9.
So that's the first extra point, -2, -9. So -2 is actually -9. I'm going to say it somewhere here. Then we can just reflect it across the other one. So that's going to be right here. Now, look at the equation and tell me, does the graph going to open up or is going to open down? Down, because there is a negative sign there, so it's going to be down. We know that. Okay, now let's connect. So now we have an opening down parabola phasing down. Okay, did you all get it? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
So we'll do 2 more problems and we'll stop for today. We are not done with 8.5. We'll continue Monday, but let's do 2 more problems. Example 2. The direction is find the zeros. What do you think they're asking for?
is
The
it
value of x when f of x equals 0.
yeah, so X and Y intercept?
Yeah, so what they're asking is when you're asked to find the zeros, they're asking, okay, when is f of x is equal to 0? Okay, so what do you have to do? When is f of x 0? When is the function 0? So you set f of x is equal to 0 and solve for x similar to the warm-up for today. Okay, but just be familiar with the wording. It's called zeros. When you're asked to find the zeros of each function, they're asking when is this function equal to 0? Clear?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to set the function, which is this, equal to 0, and then you solve for x. Solving for x is using the zero product property.
That's
So
it?
that's it. These are the zeros. So 0 of f of x is 3 and -5. X is equal to 3 and -5. That is when. So when you substitute x is equal to 3 into the function, see what happens. What is f of x when x is equal to 3?
0.
Yeah. And what about when x is equal to -5?
0.
That's why it's called 0. Yeah. That is why those two values are called the zeros. Okay. Next question is B. Same direction. You're asked to find zeros. So when is function 0? And then this is exactly like the warm-up we did today. But I just did not say zeros, but now you know that this is what exactly you're doing when it's zeros. So you do 2x squared minus 8x minus 24 is equal to 0.
Can we just factor for the GCF first?
Yeah, you have to, every single time you're factoring, that's the first thing you're doing. You're taking the 2 out. When you take the 2 out, what goes in the parentheses? X squared?
X minus 4x minus 12.
Correct.
It's 0.
And then it's going to be 2. We do not need the box here. We only need the x. Can anyone tell me why we do not need the box?
Because the leading coefficient is 0 or 1. It's 1.
Yeah, we don't need the box here because it's going to be just because the leading coefficient is 1. So let's just do the x. We're still going to do a times c. So 1 times -12 is -12. And then -4 in the lower portion of the x. Okay, now think about
2.
which are the numbers?
2 and -6.
Okay, how do you know it's -6, not 2?
Because that equals -4.
Correct. If you put the negative for the 2, you're not going to get -4, right? That's how you decide. It's -6 and +2. Okay, since we do not need a box here because the leading coefficient is 1, you're going to get the factor directly from here. And that is equal to 0. So you take x minus 6 is equal to 0, or x plus 2 is equal to 0, and that is 6 and -2. Those are the zeros. Okay, I think that's enough for today. I want you guys to go back and refresh your memories about the other lessons because chapter 8 seems like there's a lot of information, and all of these are very, very important for Algebra 2 as well. Okay, so I want to know who are we missing every day? Not one words. Who is this?
Who's who?
Who is signed in as Shankar?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm looking because I want to know, are we missing same people every time or?
Alyssa is signed in as Sierra.
Hmm? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I got that because your last name is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll see. All right, so that's for today. Are there any questions?
No.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
See, we are not going to meet tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday. So you have 3 days. I want you guys to review few lessons over the weekend about chapter 8
Mhm.
because all these are very, very important. And I want you guys to get a hang of this, okay?
How are we going to take tests?
Okay. So then can we stop now?
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a great week and I'll see you guys Monday. Okay, let me write it down here. Next week. Next
Do you hear the
week.
question?
Uh-huh.
Do you hear the question?
What question?
Someone asked how we were gonna take tests.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer yet. So hold on to that question. I don't know.
Did they say anything about the benchmark?
No.
Cancel.
A benchmark. Did benchmark? No, I haven't heard anything about the benchmark.
Do you think it's gonna get canceled?
Hopefully.
Definitely not April 3rd. So I don't know. It's going to come back if we get back. Yeah, but definitely not April 3rd.
Yeah,
If there,
we're not even at school.
yeah, I'll let you guys know. So far, nothing. Okay, next week Zoom meetings is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 noon.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Oh,